welcome to the, well, very first episode of Hi-Fi News on this channel in video form at least. It's something I've wanted to do for a little while now, but I was wondering just when to do it. And then I thought, summer's a good time because ploughing through a half-an-hour review can be stodgy. It's a bit like eating a roast dinner. It's great comfort food, but you know, summers are all about salads, aren't they? Little picky bits. And that's what I thought I'd do. Little picky bits. There are half a dozen stories in this video. I'm going to, in the comments, I'm going to put chapter headings. So if you just want to flick between your favorite story, you can click on those. I'll be posting the chapter headings a few minutes after this video goes live, so watch out for those. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on having Hi-Fi News as a video thing on this channel, whether you like it or not. It'd be great to get your response, so please type those comments below. Happy to see them. And a quick word on the presentation. This video is being recorded in the height of summer. In the UK, where I am right now, we're going through a bit of a heat wave. So even though I'm recording this early morning, thought I'd be clever, hey, it's still around, oh, I don't know, 30 degrees. Now, us English people, anything over 15 degrees, and we immediately faint. We just can't cope with the hot weather. So 30 is pushing it a little bit. And, well, I'll see if I can make the end of this video. You may just see that and nothing else, because I'll be collapsed on the floor, gasping for water. You may see the odd hand looking for a glass of water, calling for help. So until then, I've got my glass of water, I've got my Douglas Adams towel, and I've got a leaky forehead. But let's get on with the video. Now there's a bit of a time limit on this first story, so it goes in first. It relates to a company called Stranger, which is a strange name, don't you think? Stranger High Fidelity. And it's an event that's taking place in the historical city, it's not a town at all, is it? In the historical city of Bath, a place I've been to a few times myself, a beautiful place in itself, and I recommend a visit just to see the actual city itself. This particular event is a collaboration between Stranger High Fidelity and the UK high-end distributor Sound Foundations. And it takes place at the Real World Recording Studios on the 14th and the 15th of August 2021, just in case you're watching this video in the future. Now, because of what's going on in the world today, you're requested to call and reserve a seat, a position in this presentation. You can go to one of either of the 2 days. What I'll do, I'll place a phone number because you need to call the studio to reserve a place. I'll put a phone number in the description. Give them a call, see if there's any spaces left over, and I'm sure they can help you from that point. Running Stranger High Fidelity is founder Cameron Jenkins. Now, Cameron is a multi-talented chap. He's a producer, he's a label owner, mastering engineer. He can do just about anything. I'm sure he'd do a bit of plumbing if your sink was a bit dodgy. The man is a wonder, a marvel. But in this particular event, he wants to showcase a range of hi-fi components, and he's brought a host of guests to also offer their own individual presentations. This is not just a hi-fi mini show, as it were. This is a bit of a, well, it's a bit of a musical gathering as well. And among the hardware you'll be able to look at is a prototype of Kerr Acoustics' new K200 loudspeaker, as well as the UK's first showing of DS Audio's third generation of optical phono cartridges, the flagship Grandmaster and the entry-level DS003. And there's a range of behind-the-scenes insights from some guest presenters, as I say. There will be Jess Kerr of Kerr Acoustic, who will share his approach to loudspeaker design. There's also DS Audio's Tetsuaki Oyagi. Forgive me, I've got that wrong. I'm pretty sure I've mutilated that name. He'll be zooming in his chat via video from Japan on the principles behind DS Audio's optical phono cartridge technology. There is the musician, the rather wonderful Guy Pratt. He's of course the bass player whose music credits include Pink Floyd, Roxy Music, Michael Jackson, Iggy Pop and Madonna, plus a whole heap more, who will share tales of life on the road and in the studio. Oh, there's also Nick Franklin of electronic music duo Lemon Jelly on how an album is recorded, mixed and mastered, and the implications for the best possible playback. Finally, Nigel Pulsford, a record producer, but many will know as the former lead guitarist with the 90s rock band Bush, on the journey from creating a 6x platinum album to putting together a home hi-fi system. So as I say, check out below in the description, give that number a call, and you can, as these companies like to say, register your interest. Anyway, give them a call, ask Cameron, is there a spare seat, and get down there. It looks good. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Next up, we're looking at a new phono amplifier. It's called the Discovery One, and it's from the UK audiophile outfit Origin Live. Last year, Origin Live released the 2-box phono amplifier system, the Discovery 2. The 2 was priced around £1,800. Well, they've gone to work on the Discovery 2. They've reduced the 2 boxes down to 1 box, and they've also lowered the price. So you can buy the Discovery 1 for £990. As the company says, and I quote, "When vinyl is played, up to 90% of the total voltage amplification takes place in the phono stage." So never underestimate this particular component. And I did a bit of a buyer's guide thing, and you can follow my pointy finger here to the link above and click and watch that particular video. But onto the Discovery One. Now the Discovery One apparently connects the cartridge directly to the amplification circuitry, which, says Origin Live, is pretty darned unusual. Why? Well, most people put a capacitor in the way because of how they use DC power, but not here. That means there's no initial DC blocking or filtering in the electrical path to degrade the audio signal before it undergoes enormous amplification close to 100 decibels at 20 Hertz. Now this is a zero feedback device, and it's been created with the collaboration of a designer named Simon Clark. And one of the highlights of this design is the passive RIAA filter. Now this is not the place to go into complex technicalities of RIAA, but basically, to oversimplify the whole thing, it's a sort of industry standard EQ spec for the recording of music and its playback via vinyl. It's something most people don't need to know about or really care about, but it's there and it affects the sound. Now, according to Origin Live, most other phono amplifiers include the RIAA as part of a feedback loop during amplification, but the Discovery One keeps the RIAA passive and it remains independent and consistent. And the upshot of that technical mumbo jumbo means better sound, according to Origin Live. Also, the power section includes numerous levels of filtration to lower the noise floor. Now, as I say, this is a single box solution, pretty small footprint, has the usual power socket and inputs and outputs around the rear and on the front. There's a gain option for 46, 56 and 66 decibels, and the impedance which ranges from 100 all the way to a 20 ohms for moving coil and the usual 47K option for moving magnet. I hope to grab one of these in the future for a review, so keep a lookout for that. Next up, we've got a tweaked, improved power supply, and it comes from Burson. Called the Supercharger, this one apparently includes twice the working frequency of the normal standard unit supplied by the company. And basically it means that any electrical noise produced by the standard unit in the Supercharger really is pushed up into the clouds, out of hearing range. Basically, you're lowering the noise floor, allowing more detail to come through. That's what the company is saying. One way it does this is by doubling the charging frequency to power capacitors inside the audio amplifier. And the nice thing about the Supercharger is it's not just a Burson only product. You can use the Supercharger on other third-party components. That is, as long as your equipment uses 24 volts and 3 amps, has a 2.5mm barrel plug, and is center positive. So, okay, there's a few hoops to jump through, but it's there if you can use it. The price I have is in US dollars, and that's $285. But if you order before the end of this month, you'll receive a discount, reducing that figure of $285 to $228. And again, I'll put a buy link if you want to check out that special offer down in the description, so check it out. We've got some subwoofers from a company called Definitive. Placed in the new Descend series, the DN8 and the DN12 are smaller and rather larger subwoofers. Both use what Definitive call the 3XR architecture, which employs, and I quote, a symmetrical dual radiator array to triple the bass producing surface found in a traditional ported subwoofer, end quote. The basic idea being that these subwoofers, say Definitive, produce lower and more bass, basically. And these radiators are the same size as the woofer. Now, Definitive has designed the new Descend series without any bass ports. That's been done on purpose because the company wants to avoid what's called chuffing. Now, this has got nothing to do with steam engines, but it is that sort of wheezy effect that can happen in some ported designs. Now, of course, not all subwoofers are of the chuffing type, but I think Definitive just wanted to avoid any possibilities of that occurring. The DN12, which can only be bought in black, offers, as I say, a 12-inch subwoofer, and it's powered by a 1500 watt of Class H sliding rail amplification, which handles bass extension down to 25 Hertz. The DN12 offers another feature called Intelligent Phase Control, which provides a full 360 degrees of customizable phase adjustment. The 12 also uses a 56-bit digital signal processor. You also get a trio of EQs, flat, deep and loud. There's also a remote, but also a built-in LED display to provide control to adjust volume level, phase and EQ. The DN8 is powered by a 500 watt Class D amplifier, and that's matched with custom drivers, has that same 3XR dual radiator design, and it also has a remote control. It also features built-in controls to adjust output level, a low pass filter and phase. Price for the DN8 is £499. The DN12 is £999. The DN12, I must say, is available in black, but the DN8 is available in black or white. And if you want more information on this, just check out the description. I'll put contact details below. In fact, I will put contact details for all of the companies mentioned in this video. Next up, we're looking at Tivoli Audio, which have produced some second generation radios combined with Bluetooth speakers. And there's also a new product in there. 3 in all. Let's take a quick look at each of them. The Music System Home Generation 2 includes furniture grade wood cabinet. What's furniture grade mean? Well, it means basically the highest quality wood suitable for cabinets in products such as these. You also see some aluminium panels front and back. You're given a 4-driver configuration in this model. That means 2 3.5-inch woofers, 2 3/4-inch tweeters driven by 4 amplifiers, 2 8-watt and 2 20-watt. You get play, pause, you can skip your tracks, all the usual stuff. There are controls to change your radio station, and there's a push rotary dial to select a source and adjust the volume. You can stream a host of the normal music services via your phone, but for everything else you need to press the nav controls and presets on the supplied remote. The 3.5mm auxiliary input will connect wired audio devices, and there's also an Ethernet port which allows connection to a wired home network. Automatic firmware updates are also part of this product. Next is the Model 1 Generation 2. This is a smart radio supporting the usual music services via smartphone control. It's got built-in Chromecast and AirPlay, as well as Bluetooth and a choice of FM and DAB radio. Finish combines eco-friendly fabric with a sealed furniture grade wood cabinet and aluminium front fascia controls. A single long throw 3.5-inch speaker is powered by an AB amplifier. Operation is via the same push rotary type controls. You also get that auxiliary port, and automatic firmware updates come here too. Finally, the Model 1 Plus. This also arrives in a similar handmade ported wood cabinet. Single large tuning dial joins the source select and volume controls. You get 5 preset buttons and a scan button, while a single top firing long throw DSP control driver pushes out the sound. The radio is supplied with a remote which allows access to additional features such as an alarm clock and display settings. The Model 1 Plus offers DAB, DAB+, and FM radio, as well as Bluetooth connectivity. For wired listening, there is an auxiliary line input, and you'll also find a headphone output. In terms of prices, the Music System Home Generation 2 is available for $799 in black ash and black, walnut and grey, or white and grey. The Model 1 Digital Generation 2 is available for £299, and that's available in the same suite of finishes. Finally, available in walnut and beige, or grey and white, or oak and black, is the Model 1 Plus for £219. Next up, we're looking at a turntable from Pro-Ject. This is a bit of a 30th anniversary celebration from the company, and so they've gone all out to produce a rather interesting turntable. Let's have a little look. The Debut Pro arrives with a pre-adjusted Pickett Pro cartridge, a new 8.6-inch one-piece carbon aluminium tone arm with fully adjustable VTA and azimuth. There's a new nickel-plated aluminium tone arm, bearing block, a new aluminium platter with TPE damping, and all kinds of other stuff. Now, this turntable is priced at £699, and you'll be able to buy it in September, at least in the UK, 2021. But let's go into a little bit more detail, shall we, and have a little mooch about of the finer details. So there's an improved damping around the motor suspension, a so-called precision belt drive system, height adjustable metal feet, electronic speed change rocker switch, which supports 3 speeds. That includes 78 RPM. There's an 8-layer hand-painted MDF chassis in satin black. You also get connected e-phono cables, and there are gold-plated RCA output connectors, and you also get a dust cover in case you've got a friendly cat. The Debut Pro is the first Debut design to feature Pro-Ject's carbon aluminium one-piece tone arm technology. You get an 8.6-inch tube finished with a new CNC milled aluminium bearing block with, quote, special, unquote, bearings, high purity copper internal tone arm wiring, and a shielded junction box with gold-plated RCA output connectors, as I say. Now, the pre-installed and pre-aligned cartridge, the Pickett Pro, that's been created in conjunction with Audiophile, and intriguingly, it uses the 2M body. You'll probably notice that by the images. But the sound, well, that leans towards the traditional SPU designs with its lower compliance, lower capacitance, and slightly higher output. So I'll be fascinated to hear what that sounds like, and I do hope to get myself a sample of this turntable for review, so keep a watch out for that in the future. The MDF plinth features an AC drive motor decoupled from the main chassis by a mounting plate with TPE damped fixing points, and the TPE is there to lower the noise floor. It reduces vibration. The mounting plate isolates the motor while still keeping it perfectly level with the sub-platter drive system. The turntable plinth itself also sits on 3 height adjustable metal feet, and they in turn feature TPE damping in a nickel plated finish. A sub-platter sits beneath the brand new aluminium platter, which has a ring of TPE damping, and that's held in place by an additional stabilizing ring of aluminium. So for a Debut turntable, this platter is, well, fairly high mass. Again, if you want to know more, click the link in the description. And that's it, folks, from this rather warm first video on Hi-Fi News. Hope you liked it. I hope future episodes are cooler and calmer, and I will return to my usual Sean Connery-like James Bond even-toned demeanour, and I'm off to take a cold shower for purely temperature-based reasons, I can assure you. Let me know what you thought of this first Hi-Fi News video. If you'd like to see more, there's plenty of news coming, and I'd like to show you what's happening in the industry. If you'd like to know more about it, I can do this on a fairly regular basis if you'd like that to occur. Hi-Fi News is happening all of the time, as you know, and it'd be nice to tell you more about it, especially when there are time limits on certain events or certain deals. that might be also something I can squeeze more into in Hi-Fi news. For now, as I say, check out the description for lots of links. Check out the pinned comment in the comments section, of course, for all of the chapter headings. Also look in the description for lots of other links to social media, my Facebook group, which you're welcome to join, my website, which has a whole host of information you won't find on this channel, and similarly, my Patreon page, which also has all kinds of information you won't find on this channel. Until the next time, and I hope to have your company then, there'll be a new video on the way next week, of course. Until that time, let's use the other hand. It's a better waving hand. There you go. Until that time, bye for now.